Hello again. Now we're going to start on the rear suspension of the XJ6. Now it doesn't look too bad here, but actually the problem with this car is this side of the car is actually the worst out of the entire thing. It sits inside the wheel arch, okay, so now either the spring is sagged over the years or there's actually a bush, a big bush. I don't know, I can't explain it really. It's just like a big bit of rubber or something. It goes in there. I was told that can disintegrate and that, you know, it does alter the height of the car, but unfortunately you still have to take the spring out to do it. So I've got a new one of these rubber bushes, which I'll show you in a bit, and a new spring and a new shock absorber. So we'll do the worst side first, but like I say, this sits inside. So when you put stuff in the boot to do the Rust-A-Rome, when you hit speed bumps, the rear of the car is so low to the ground, it's unbelievable. So I'm hoping putting a new spring in and a new bush, the car should lift at least an inch, just an inch higher, and then of course when you put weight in it, it should be a lot better. And also it stiffens the suspension as well. So let's see how we get on, shall we? Let's get cracking. So to do this so far, I've taken off the brake caliper. Spring compressors fit each side, but unfortunately my spring compressors are too long, so I've had to cut a piece off to make them long enough. Yeah, because obviously when you do it up, it's getting smaller and smaller, so... Yeah, so we're at that stage now. I've already undone these nuts that are on the top because I'd already had those off this time last year when I changed the replaced the back axle with a second-hand one, which the video is on YouTube for that. And I've just got to undo... Oh, bear with me. Can't really see it there. That nut there, it goes on the bottom. Now that might be a bit of a pain, but we'll see how we get on. But yeah, it's... I'm just waiting for the air compressor to fill up because I've got one of these. Yeah, awesome, isn't it? Right, let's get going. So, the shock absorber is out. Now, I will tell you that was extremely difficult to get that out. If I hadn't cut this off, I would have to took it all off again, then cut it, then put it on. So it's a good job I guessed that right. So, like I said, there's the spring. You can see I've compressed it a lot to get it out. This is the top of the spring. This part goes sort of in here, you know, on the shock absorber. Now this bit's not too bad, but I've got a new one of these rubber tops. It's not gone, but it's worn. So, but we've got a new one anyway, so we might as well put it in. But the bottom of the shock absorber is gone completely. Look at that. Yeah. So what we're going to do is now change the shock. Compress the new spring, put the new rubber in, and we're going to try and put it back in this afternoon. Right, let's get going. And then after all of this, it's going to want one hell of an underseal again. So there's the new shock absorber and the new bushing. The bushing wasn't actually gone on this one. This big piece here was a bit iffy, but it weren't gone. Yeah, that's ready. So now there's my new spring. I'm just uncompressing, should we say, that one. And then I'm going to compress that one, put it on, and hopefully it all goes back in the car quite simply. So, getting the spring in here is a nightmare. So I've got everything bolted up. I've just got to tighten this bottom one up, and then undo the spring compressor and it's done. But that is a nightmare. Thankfully, Adam turned up. And his foot was very helpful in pushing this down. So, thank you, Adam. But yeah. Let's see how we get on. So, I didn't get to film it last night because it got really dark time I finished, so I thought I'd just show you today. But the wheel arch now actually sits about a good inch, maybe an inch and a half taller, which is really good, so I'll just show you. There we go. So now the tyre doesn't sit sort of so high up in the wheel arch, so it's good because we've got more ground clearance now. So the car actually sits a lot more level than it did before. On this side, I still haven't done the other side yet. So let's see how we go. So now we're on the other rear side. Now this side might be a little bit more tricky because of these pipes along the top. I have undone the top ones. I'm in the process right now of undoing the bolt on the bottom, and then I'm just going to compress the spring and then hopefully have it out. And hopefully whip the new one in. I'm hoping this goes a lot easier than the other side. So it's out and we're now going to fit. So you can see the bush on the bottom of it is pretty much gone as well, yeah. So there's the new upper bush. I mean, there's the number for it. want to buy one yourself. Got the new shock. You can see here the bush has gone a bit. You don't really show up very well here, but you can see it's starting to disintegrate. The inside brush isn't too bad, it's just the outside one. Yeah, so put a new nice one on, and there's the new spring. So let's see how we get on. So this is basically what I've done. This is very difficult, I will tell you now. I've compressed them as much as I dare. Now when I put the spring compressors on, the spring fits in the holder in a certain way, where this piece here goes. So I put the spring in without any of the other bits, and I put the compressors in the place where I can actually undo them again, because that's another problem you'll find if you do this. Then what I do is, once I've compressed the spring, I cable tie it to the mount to stop it coming off, and then I push the shock absorber all the way in and tie it round one of these with cable ties. Now, use 2 cable ties. If you use one, it will snap, and you get halfway with it in the car, and then you've got to start all over again, and it's a right pain in the arse, let's be honest. This job alone is a nightmare, I'm going to be honest with you. Once you get it back in the car, it's very easy. You just wiggle it about, line it up, and then just slowly release it while making sure it's going in the correct place. At this stage, what I'm about to do now is nothing but a nightmare. But what you want to do is just make sure it gets as compressed as possible before you put it in the car. Alright? I'll say, I'm hoping this is compressed enough. So we're about to find out. So to be fair, that actually went in a lot easier than I anticipated. So what I don't know if you see it, it says like a ridge inside there. That piece needs to go in there. But look at all the space I've got. But I did compress this spring a lot more than the other side, because I knew it was a bit of a pain. It's always the same, once you do one side you sort of know what to expect for the other. But yeah, I'm going to have to under-seal all this car again, I think. But yeah, let's get it in. There we go, there's the new spring in and bush in. So that should be a lot better now. Yeah, now that is a bit of a pig to do, but the best way, my recommendation is, do it as tight as you can, get the spring. And make sure you watch where you put your spring compressors. Check it before you put them in. Alright? So that's the car done for now. Well, at the moment it does need a few other bits and bobs doing. But yeah, like I say, the first spring I sort of tried to record, but I was still sort of looking at how I was doing it, so it was a bit difficult to film it, but then the second spring was a bit easier. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you all very soon with a new video, because the window wipers don't work now on that Jag. They've completely packed up. It doesn't seem to be the relay, and it doesn't seem to be the motor. So I'm presuming it's the switch on the dashboard near the steering column. But we'll see, so we'll have a look. So have a great weekend, and I'll see you all very soon with a new video.